in Ecuador, and we look forward to his return for DC United. It will be Toronto FC and Jesus Jimenez to kick it off. Jimenez has been involved in goals in all three Toronto FC games. They're one of 6 winless teams. This goes back to Mike Bradley, as Toronto FC had a draw against FC Dallas at BMO Field, but since then 2 losses. For DC United to make connections this afternoon, playing against a young Toronto FC team and looking for a connection right now. Luca Kamara's gotten behind the defense. Alex Bono with the foot save, not done. This is Roberto with a shot. And right away, DC United, this is what you want to see, testing the Toronto defense.
Well, it started right away from winning the second ball in the middle of the park. Nigel Roberto was coming back, and it was just a one-time pass from Julian Gressel, finding an in-stride Ola Kamara, and it gets caught under his feet a little bit, still able to get a shot off, but Alex Bono able to recover there, keep the ball out of the back of the net in the first 30 seconds of this match. Fantastic start for DC, though.
Michael Bradley, a hopeful ball up the flank. Jaden Nilsson, one of the young players we're talking about, a 19-year-old Canadian. They have 10 homegrown players on their roster, and there's another one, Luca Petrasso, a 21-year-old. It's Birnbaum trying to win it. Flores trying to be the first of the ball. He is not. Jonathan Osorio, the veteran, with a touch. Good to have you along on this Saturday. Got DC United soccer back, and good organization at the back as Brendan Heinzeich is able to disrupt things. And I understand the disappointment of last week, but you take 6 points to get going in March and try to get something this afternoon in Toronto before that break. Pozuelo trying to win the ball. We have a free kick as foul called earlier. Jesus Jimenez goes down. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist on the young season.
You see a little bit of his ability there, just willing to drop in, just in behind Russell Canals. Heinzeich got to be able to decide whether to drop in with them 10 yards into midfield, 12 yards, or just pass them off to either Russell Canals or Jafal. But that movement from a number 9 like that asks a lot of questions. So communication's got to be key between the 2 center midfielders and the back 3.
How about that Russell Canals back?
I was going to say his name again.
Oh, boy. And playing alongside the rookie, Sofian Jafal, who highlighted as, let's see what the offering is here. As Pozuelo, we mentioned, 23 MVP, only 1 goal last year, though. We know his quality. A couple defenders up, O'Neill and McNaughton as options. Pozuelo's service. And it should be a corner kick coming up, as that's Carlos Salcedo, Mexican international. You don't see it with those shorts on, but he's got scary tattoos on his thighs. That's tattoos of a defender.
He's brought in to be a presence communicating with the back line, but also danger on set pieces going forward.
Pozuelo, the service, Bradley near post to try to get a head on it. Jaden Nilsson worked with Flores, and Toronto FC getting possession. Pozuelo getting that ball from Petrasso. Michael Bradley back in midfield. He was playing central defense last week. He switched formations and lost to Columbus. 4 at the back, then went back to 3 at the back, which they are operating under. This is Osorio. Jonathan Osorio, 295 appearances for the club in all competitions.
Bob Bradley is trying to implement his style to this Toronto FC side, and that is keeping the ball on the ground, being patient with the build-up.
Shane O'Neill.
Right on cue.
Yeah, not patient there.
Like
but
that. We'll see how well it can be implemented. The field a little bit choppy, given still in the winter up there in Toronto.
Russell Canals playing it back to Andy Nahar. Salcedo sorts out of the back. O'Neill a flick. Kamara gets a stab at it. Roberto can't control it. Good defensive work by O'Neill. Toronto FC so far trying to use that left flank and the speed of Jaden Nilsson. Opportunity perhaps here. Birnbaum trying to close him down. Jimenez center of the box, and Hamid forced to make the save. Buries it over the bar. That was not easy because you're thinking, oh, is he going to cross it to Jimenez? Instead, Jaden Nilsson decided to take the shot.
Yeah, a little lackluster defending there from Andy Nahar, just putting his hand up, wasn't willing to chase after Nielsen. Well done there from Birnbaum. You see him closing him down. Could have get a little bit tighter, but what he does is take away the far post, take away a little slipped-in pass across the 6. The only option was a near post. Hamid read that well.
Suelo sending it in again, near post. Heinzike defending for DC United. Toronto in the white, in the light rain of BMO Field. He'll settle it to Jonathan Osorio. Again, DC United, how about unbeaten last 10 matches? And we've had some doozies or dillies, I was about to say. I didn't know what I was going to say.
Some games made us dizzy.
Yeah, they did. 7-1, we remember last year. Victory for DC United. Yeah. That was a dilly, I think. That's what happens when you try to come up with a word and you have no idea what you're saying. It's a shame I broadcast for a living. Bradley.
You can see him just trying to play.
They're using this left side so far. Toronto.
Yeah, Pozuelo's been drifting over to the Andy Nahar side there.
Remember a 4-4 tie at BMO Field back in 2018. Jeff Ball, touch back to Hamid. Again, we look at, you want the good mojo, if you will. DC United, I know, you felt that bitter loss last week at the bitter cold, but all is not lost for DC United. Again, it's early. You take the points early. We know the journey that we're on. You want to see this team develop, get better. There'll be the addition of players. It's a journey we're on together. Jeff Ball. Again, I just like the way he calmly collects it with Osorio pressuring. Gressel now. Gonna switch it, and that had too much bend on it, so a throw in for Toronto FC.
And Jafal has the ability to just split lines with the ball at his feet, so just easily evades central midfielders for opposing teams, which just really unbalances them. It's a lovely little ability to have in the center of the park.
My friends, Major League Soccer supporting UNICEF's humanitarian relief efforts, encouraging fans. The ball goes back to Bill and me to stand with support the 7.5 million children and their families impacted by the crisis in Ukraine. Donate or learn more at unicefusa.org/MLS. And as I read that, please know as I read it with a lot of emotion, because I don't know how you cannot be impacted. And you see Ukrainian flags mixed in.
Ukrainian maple leaf there.
Yep, Ukrainian maple leaf. It just, you feel so much. We can do so much good in this world if we're just kind to each other. And what's going on right now, I can't describe. Flores. So stick with what I can, and that's soccer. Kamara. Send it back to Jafal. Now Gressel. Ricochets off Bradley for Toronto. A turnover goes right to Jafal. That time, a little bit too quick. And there you see I love to see that Ukrainian maple leaf. As I've talked to some fans of Ukrainian heritage, and when you look into their eyes, it is hurt that you can't describe. Let's just hope and hope. Stay together. Throw-in coming up for DC United. Brad Smith. What have you thought of his introduction to DC United so far?
Well, he's comfortably slotted in, and it's provided a little bit, obviously. He's getting...
Canals, a little back heel by Roberta. Kamara trying to get to it.
It provided balance, and they talked about this, but they provided balance, as in Lucy Rushton, in terms of how DC United is willing to attack and able to attack. It's not all about the right side, which majority of the attack came from Julian Gressel, Andy Nahar last year, but you look at data, half the attack is coming down the right, half of it's coming down Brad Smith's left side as well.
Salcedo again played with Tigres in Mexico.
He's also done a really good job at just learning the system quickly and able to read when he needs to press, when he needs to stay. He's got a fantastic engine on him, and I think there's a bit of a relationship there still to cultivate between him and Edison Flores, but he's had a bright start.
Good Toronto FC, they've got a draw against FC Dallas, and that's it. Double losses. But Bradley He's going to institute his style of play. Brad Smith showing for the ball. Robertha on the ball. Marked by McNaughton. Robertha sending it in. That is promise. Oh, it's in the net. It is in the net. A goal, DC United. One across by Robertha. And DC United has scored to take the lead 1-0 on the road. Precision across from Nigel Robertha has opened the scoring for DC United.
You can see the patience from Robertha, just waiting for the moment to deliver the ball, and it's Russell Canals who had drifted inside the box, and he wasn't picked up. Petrasso there just sees him, but it's just plenty of space, too much space if you're a TFC fan for Russell Canals. And it's a fantastic header from him as well from the penalty spot. The glancing header off the right side of his head. Gets his first start, gets his first goal. What a brilliant goal it was.
Welcome back to the lineup, Russell Canals. So DC United, 1-0 lead on Toronto, and what a finish from Russell Canals and that cross from Nigel Robertha. I think Robertha's introduction to starting 11 made a difference.
Canals as well.
As Canals as well. Nilsson disrupted by Nahar. Gressel trying to send it upfield. Osorio. So DC United, this is what you wanted to see, the response after the shutout loss to Chicago. O'Neal will play it back to his keeper. See the flags flying behind great supporters. In last 9 matches, Toronto, that's not a record they're proud of, are used to. Kind of harkens back to their early days of Toronto FC when they first came into the league and could draw fans but couldn't draw points.
Yeah, McNaughton just not simply tight enough there for Robertha. You could tell Robertha wanted to get it to his right foot for a delivery. He did just that, and what a delivery it was. But it's Russell Canals willing to just make the run, too. And you talked about it with Luciano Emilio in the pregame. Just DC willing to take a bit of risk, and that was a bit risky there for Russell Canals. He realized he had some cover. He was willing to get into the box, and what a reward it was.
Russell Canals. And he is, in so many ways, been an unsung hero for this team. Still remembers he was acquired mid-season. What was that, 2017, I think?
Yeah.
Boy, I guess we should call him a grizzled veteran now. Or just a veteran. Don't need that grizzled. Must be something about first games for Russell Canals. Remember, he scored the season opener last year. Well, this is his first chance getting on the field this year.
A little miscommunication there. Kamara could have left that be for Robertha. These two just simply weren't on the same page. But they look sharp together up top. At times, Kamara's the number 9, obviously wears it, but right now it's Robertha who's playing the point of the front 3.
Bradley will switch it to the right side. They have not gone very much on the right side. Pozuelo. This is Chung. Tackled away by Jeffall. Nicely done. Flores to Jeffall. Well done. And Flores can get to it. He can. Overlap by Brad Smith. Now Flores. Smith onside. Robertha waiting for it. Just can't get it down. Positive attack.
Well, that play started with Jeffall just winning the ball back, and then he receives it again in a tight area just within 30 yards of his own net, plays out of it, allows Edison Flores to just take the ball with space. Brad Smith gets around him, and he picks out Nigel Robertha.
And here's Robertha again.
Who, again, if you're a TFC fan, there's just been simply too much space within 20 yards of your own net. Nice little dummy there from Jimenez.
Nahar, but Hamid has come out because you have to respect Nilsson's speed on that left flank. And they've got some young players. I mean, Caden Chung, another young player, played in the Canadian Premier League with Pacific FC. I don't want a job with Pacific FC. I just want to go there for a game. It's a beautiful. Have you seen a picture of the stadium?
I've heard.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
15 minutes in.
Bring in for a guest commentary.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, yeah, you get a +1? Yeah, happy to go.
We'll both go.
I don't know how you'd fit it in your schedule, but
sure,
we'll figure that out.
Your wife and kids would love that. You're going on a road trip with Dave to British Columbia to see a soccer game. As well for, this is Chung, who played at Pacific FC. That is Jimenez. And that could have been an equalizer.
It's a patient run here from Jimenez. He's not willing to just put himself in between Andy Nahar and Birnbaum. He rather just holds up his run, and because of that, he's able to attack this one with vigor, unable to keep it under the bar, but it could be a menacing moment for DC United's defense.
Been involved in goals in all 3 matches for Toronto FC, Jimenez. Last Toronto FC player to do that was Pozuelo. In 2020, he was involved in all 4 of the first 4 matches of his career. McNaughton. Salcedo. Getting back to that goal, we talked at pregame. It just a final third, or that I still think that cross by Robertha. Credit Canals as Robertha's down with the finish and how he got lost and got free. But Robertha makes that cross.
Well, it's a brilliant cross, and he had attempted it with a little cutback, and then he didn't feel it, felt it would have been blocked, so he just holds the play up a little bit, allows Canals to get inside the box even more, and then shimmy to his right, and just a delightful delivery. And he gets stepped on there, right on the
McNaughton
left
goes
Achilles heel.
McNaughton also played at Pacific FC.
Right, the feeder club at the moment.
I know. Petrasso for Nelson. His youth on that left flank. Hamid, no trouble.
Nelson just couldn't cut this one back wide enough across the 6. Jimenez was coming in just a bit late there, but nice little combination from
Petrasso's 21, Nilsson's 19.
The 2 young players, and you can see he just needs to cut that back across at the corner of the 6.
2 homegrown players. They have a strong academy like DC United does. Brad Smith gets it tackled away by Chung, Caden Chung. Both times here. Flores. Salcedo does the housekeeping. Pozuelo back to Chung. Comes off Smith, the handball. Free kick coming up for Toronto FC. Yes, we're 18 minutes in. Russell Canals with the goal on the road. Game before the international break, and then you can make your plans to get out and see us at Audi Field. So we'll be coming back is just getting going with this spring of soccer, if you will. About to say summer, but we have not gotten into March yet.
Just came back from that West Coast trip, and it just set you all off there, Dave.
That's right. With my other life, the Wizards, I'm not sure where I am right now. Michael Bradley. Play through Pozuelo, and a foul. There's that bite to the midfield at Russell Canals, a great disruptor, but Jaden Nilsson. Andy Nahar, great preventer, keeps it away from Osorio. Now the other way, O'Neal. A little bit unsettled here all of a sudden. Pozuelo, but stepping up. Well done by Gressel.
It's a good ball from Gressel as well, just to relieve pressure. Gets DC out to the other side here. Good hold-up play from Kamara. You can see Kamara just filling the space on the far side, which allows Edison Flores in the space there in the middle.
A touch. Is it me, or I like the movement off the ball so far?
Especially the front 3. They've been really bright. I think the hold-up play's been good for DC, which is they've struggled with at times this year. But finding Robertha, finding Kamara, with players on their back, able to connect that pass off of their boots in terms of Robertha and Kamara allows DC United to not only maintain possession, but get higher up the field as well.
Just look at Julian Gressel. I'm calling it a Gressel assist this afternoon. I just think it's going to happen. Had 9 assists last year. 20 minutes in. A throw-in coming up for Toronto FC. We got a free kick now. You notice Canals when he's out there. At Dave J Sports, at Dave McTee, keep checking in. We have a lot of folks arranging a road trip for us to British Columbia.
Oh, yeah. Road trip?
Road trip.
Really? All right.
I'll bring the granola. Shane O'Neill. It's a ball that had some potential, but Petrasso didn't make the run. Our friend DC United Kingdom is watching in the United Kingdom, as I think he's coming over. And we've got to arrange a. We were talking about this. To get a trivia night.
Yeah, no, I know. We got to get something in the works here.
Yeah, we got to do something.
I'll bear responsibility for that.
Why don't we come over to your house? It'll be fun.
Yeah, well.
Don't mention it to Emily. She'll like surprises.
Water for everyone.
That's right.
Goldfish.
Honey, the gang's over. Now we've got a foul. McNaughton gets called for the foul. Lucas McNaughton.
We got a lot of kid snacks and milk and water, so might need to do a little preparation for that.
Well, your oldest is 4 now, right? Well, speaking of trivia, that wasn't a trick question.
She is 4. No,
She's
yeah,
4.
Yeah.
You paused there like you didn't know. We'll get to the trivia as Toronto defending here. It's presented by United Wellness Center. DC United Toronto FC, 2 of only 5 teams. Is now Kamara trying to get it to Nahar.
We love that run from Andy Nahar. That's his license to get forward in that right center back position. Ola Kamara nearly found him.
We'll get back to trivia in a moment. This is hardly trivia. All right, here we go. I think we have a chance to give you that trivia question. DC United Toronto FC, one of only two of only 5 teams to win MLS Cup and Supporters Shield in the same season. Name the other 3 teams. DC United Toronto FC, 2 of only 5 teams win MLS Cup and Supporters Shield. It's presented by United Wellness Center.
The trivia used to be easier when there was, fewer seasons, fewer teams, obviously.
Well,
no. What are we, 27, 28 seasons in?
So, I like that we're a 10-team league at that point for trivia. Flick by Jimenez wide to Caden Chung. He's got space to operate. Jafal has space to head it away. McNaught steps up. Now a cross coming. A stab by Hindsight. And a corner kick coming up for Toronto FC. As Sofian Jafal. I still double check he's a rookie, the way he's playing. As McNaughton gets his cross off, and good job by Hindsight just to make sure it wasn't doing any further damage. Petrasso, 21-year-old, with the corner, and that sails to the 6. Pozuelo's there, and it's in the net for Toronto, and we are tied. Maybe an own goal on Jafal, but Pozuelo was at the doorstep, and Toronto FC is equalized. Great corner by Luca Petrasso, so we've seen excellent.
It's a great
service.
corner. It's a fantastic service, but you simply can't get beat.
Yeah,
the front 6. It's
does score.
Bradley right there. And he beats Heinzike and Brad Smith. And then once he's able to get a little flick-on header, it's just danger for DC. And it's their number 10, Pozuelo, just sneaking in behind Jafal. Even if he had gotten a touch to it, Jafal probably would have hit the back of his net, but it really comes down to the quality of the service. Coming from the corner, but then also Bradley able to just win the initial flick-on header. Simply cannot happen if you're DC. You've got to win that initial one.
Well, with both goals, we've seen great service. Roberto's cross to Canals. Hamid, not happy that Petrasso is able to find Pozuelo. That's a body that cannot get loose in the box. And did. So we have a tie game. Jeff Fall trying to play it wide. All right, DC United just needs to settle down. I didn't think this was going to be a 1-0 result. And if you look at the history of these 2 teams, there's been some couple 0-0 draws in there, but we've had some wild games.
DC just sitting a little bit further back now. Really in a 4-4-2. Ola Kamara and Nigel Roberta up top, and Well done there between the two central midfielders, Bradley and Osorio for Toronto.
Jaden Nilsson. Canal's trying to pry it away. Osorio. We have Nelson getting the ball. Canal slow to get up. Gressel and Nahar marking. Now Toronto's grown into the match. 26 minutes in. Teams sharing the points now.
But you have Flores trying to get the midfield line up as well.
Gressel, nicely done to cut into Canals, but then tackled away by Pozuelo. Michael Bradley, the vision, Chung making a run. But too much spice on that. And some bundled supporters. Bill meet some shtick is now. That's great service. It's
good service. It's good flick on there from Bradley, and then Jafal again. He loses his marker in Pozuelo, but given how deep he was, not sure if any sort of touch could have kept that from hitting the back of the net. But regardless, just lackluster defending off the corner for DC.
Nahar.
That's not lackluster, bit of skill there from Andy Nahar.
Following me up the field, but Salcedo steps in front of Kamara. Bertha offering the press. This is Alex Bono, original draft pick of Toronto FC back in 2015 to clear it up field. Good friend Mikey Marks out there in Phoenix listening to us. We've getting a lot of guesses about the other teams to win the Supporters Shield and MLS Cup. But I'm not supposed to look, right? It'd be cheating.
It's frowned upon. It is.
I'll put away Twitter until after the trivia. All right, here we go. Nahar. That's a good ball, and Flores just can't get it on target.
Thought for a moment there that was going to sneak in the near post. Alex Bono looked a little frozen. Always knew where it was, though. You want to get him going. You want to get him involved in the attack.
Going. Yep. Heinzike, the challenge and a foul. Free kick, 28 minutes in.
How deep Heinzike could come to keep pressure on Pozuelo.
Back to Salcedo. Toronto's had the better match of late after some early opportunities for DC, including a goal from Russell Canals.
Well, they'll try to pass you to death. They certainly will. They lead the league.
That's a Bob Bradley team, right?
It is a Bob Bradley team. They lead the league in the number of passes completed. Where he can really turn them over is just one bad mistake, apply some pressure to one of the numbers. Either Osorio or Bradley coming back to pick up the ball, or anyone along the back line. Quick turnovers and hit them in transition. We saw that when the New York Red Bulls came up into Ontario a couple of weeks ago. They were pretty ruthless in terms of turning them over in dangerous spots and then quickly hitting them on the counter. DC can try to replicate that.
3 goals in the first half in that game?
4.
4.
Yeah.
That's why I turned to you for stats. You've got the numbers.
Yeah, I'll let someone check on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 4.
Michael Bradley. Pozuelo. Shane O'Neill getting it wide to Petrasso. And attack fizzles. All right, see if DC and I can see some control back here and get back on the front foot. Hernan Losada. Well, you love the passion that he brings to this game, and every week, it's even if it's a midweek press conference, he's so passionate about what he does in this club. And he's only been here a little over a year, and yet he feels like he's, with that passion he brings, that he's bleeding the black and red, and that's something I think the supporters should know about him. Heinzike. Sends it upfield. Brad Smith. That service had some potential, but Salcedo in the middle, then Jaden Nelson. The foul. And a free kick. Dangerous position for DC. Remy Touchon is our referee this afternoon.
It's just a little hip check there coming through. Appears to be the side of Russell Canals. A dangerous position here for Toronto to defend against.
He gets in positions.
Well, he reads the play.
Yes.
He reads the play. He's willing to make that 5-10 yard sprint to keep up with the play. Sometimes players aren't always willing to do that.
And that's the little things that Russell Canals does that really needs to be celebrated and appreciated. All right, you have Flores to the right, Gressel to the left. Who would you call?
Makes his Gressel distance here, hoping for a Gressel special.
Flores instead.
Yep, happens every time, Dave.
I put you on the spot. You got to mix it up every now and then, right? Keep Alex Bono and Toronto defense guessing.
Giving you a little wave, saying hello to you.
Yep. Osorio trying to win it. Jeffal heads it down. Flores tries it ahead to Robertha. Robertha gets around Salcedo. Salcedo making the recovery run. Robertha gets it knocked away and then tackled away by Salcedo. Jeffal sees Nahar getting forward. Flores, the touch.
This is where DC needs to have a little patience, though.
Flores can't create space. Gressel, something brewing here. Brad Smith trapping it down. And a foul. So free kick.
I think DC gets themselves in a good spot. They've got Julian Gressel with time and space to deliver across. Ends up just going to the back post, and Brad Smith can't control it. A little overzealous there in defending. He's asking for a handball, but Julian Gressel, I think, overhit that one probably a bit more than he was anticipating.
Nice build-up. Had some potential there.
It's really the first time we've seen TC connect passes within 30 yards. It was good movement off the ball, which allowed, you see Andy Nahar just pinching in, which allows Julian Gressel the time and space to get the ball and deliver it.
Looking for Nilsson. Nahar wins it. Jeffal trying to get it instead. Bradley. As Whalen can't get on, Jeffal recovers nicely. Flores. Singleton has scored it ahead to Smith. Smith, across, Kamara, the stab. Gressel's making a run. Into the 6, Salcedo. Be a throw-in coming up for DC United. Nielsen was trying to draw a foul. I'm telling you, Gressel's going to get an assist today. That's my call. Nahar, the throw-in. Maybe not that way, as goes right to Alex Bono.
You're better at predictions than I am, so I'm all aboard, Dave. I'm all aboard.
Well, I'm better at predictions.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure out Bitcoin, which we're so glad to have XDS with us. As now Gressel slots it ahead. Salcedo defends well. Or just make sure Robertha doesn't get onto it. Again, our thanks to XDC, pardon me, for being such a wonderful partner as we venture into a new world that does include cryptocurrency. Bradley. Jimenez. Slaloms in the center. Nilsson, the touch to Chung. Back to Nilsson. And Flores comes back to Taking it away from Osorio. McNaughton. Too much space. Pozuelo serving it in, trapped down by Jimenez, but sandwiched in between Heinzike and Smith, and the flag is up. So offside.
Brilliant defending there from Heinzike, but felt as the ball was released from Pozuelo's foot, it was Jimenez just drifting into an offside position. But you see Jafal just trying to clear it. McNaughton just picks it up in front of Nigel Robertha. Takes some space, which allows Pozuelo to pick up his head. He's got no black jerseys around him, and then it's Jimenez just not able to toe the line. Those two players often looking for each other, though. Whether Jimenez has the ball at his feet, he's always looking for number 10, Pozuelo, and vice versa. Danger men in the offensive half for Toronto FC.
Our Loudon Economic Development stat pack, we appreciate all our partners, is DC United, the advantage in shots. The goals are even. Possession, as we talk about the Bob Bradley passing team, Toronto has the possession arrow. Look at Lucas McNaughton. So a good crowd is gathered at BMO Field despite 44 degrees and light rain.
It's been a couple years, really.
Yeah.
Since they've allowed people.
They're really coming full force as Birnbaum heads it. Taking a stab at it, Kamara, Jeffall. Popcorns to McNaughton now. Pozuelo trying to get the chunk, well read by Smith. Jeffall cleans it up. Be a Toronto FC throw-in. Couldn't switch the point of attack. Michael Bradley surveying. Started his career playing for his dad with the Metro Stars before they became the Red Bulls. Now back with his father. Most recently was at LAFC. And of course, his pro career started as an assistant right here at DC United. And Jesse Marsh, who's having success with Leeds United, played for Bob Bradley at Princeton, and of course played for DC United. Pozuelo has good defense by Heinzike.
Yeah, Pozuelo frustrated there, but Jimenez was all over Heinzike, who did a tremendous job initial defending. He's trying to just connect a pass with Jimenez just grabbing at him, led to the turnover.
Tight quarters. Canal's trying to get a dig at it. Now Jimenez. Jeffall pries it away cleanly from Pozuelo. That's a better the rookie, that's a veteran.
That's the big switch.
Oh, wow, what a ball to Flores. McNaughton marking. Osorio defending. Flores steps up. There's Gressel. The touch to Robertha. Gressel. Smith. Denied by Osorio. Suddenly something brewing for DC. Toronto gets organized. Jeffall. Switching way over to Andy Nahar. Nahar spanks it.
DC had numbers in the box as well. Salcedo goes to ground for TFC, their center back. Andy Nahar gets himself in a tremendous position. Jafal is able to find him, just pinging the ball across the pitch. It's a lovely first touch from Andy Nahar. Just extends his right leg, takes it off the top of the foot, and he's going for power. The accuracy was off, though, in that moment. And again, a bit of a wasted moment there for DC, given the number 4 black jerseys in the box. Deserved a better cross from Andy Nahar.
So Salcedo is down. Gives us a chance to reflect on this. 39 minutes in. Canals opened the scoring. Great service from Robertha. Then Petrasso, great service. And the goal from Pozuelo. So it's even on the scoreboard. How do you see it on the field?
They seem DC's doing a good job in terms of deciding when to press, and I think the relationship up top between Robertha and Kamara at pressing has been steady. It's been pretty good. I think at times, given they're in a 4-4-2 right now, they're asking questions about where they need to be offensively. I think at times players aren't exactly sure if they should fill a space or if someone else should, and they're going a little bit away from what they typically used to playing with, 3 in the back. Really a 3-4-2-1, so the 4-4-2 again, just maybe having them think a little bit more, which takes some time.
We've got the Cap Morgan halftime show and lots more for your Soccer Saturday with us on NBC Sports Washington. There you see some of the tattoos I mentioned of Jorge Salcedo.
It's never good to have your hamstring wrapped like that.
Oh, he covers up your tattoos.
Well, there you go. That's true.
Did you ever get a tattoo to be more fierce as a defender?
No, I don't think that would have helped.
All right, Salcedo. We see up as goes to the sideline. Let's see what his immediate future includes. All right, can DC United finish strong here in the first half? I know what you're thinking. International break coming up. You want to have that feel-good factor. A win does that. Nahar will pay you back to Hamid.
Went on the road as well.
Smith, challenged by Pozuelo. Hindsight now. Smith working up that left side. Let's see as Salcedo gets there. Flores puts it off Salcedo. It'll be a throw-in for DC.
Well, I was going to say Salcedo, he's got that hamstring wrap, but showed well in that moment. Full stride.
Flores. Turn around Bradley. Jeffall.
You could sense it coming too. He had Russell Canals to his right. He had Andy Nahar coming in as well, but Jeffall just wanted this one. Just about 23 yards out. He's willing to take that chance. He's got that in his bag, the little curler to the far post. Just can't wrap his hips around it quite enough.
Well, remember now, you pre-match show, it's every half hour before game time, and you discussed it. Luciano Emilio, who's, by the way, scored a few goals for our club, talked about it. He wanted to see taking risks, taking shots from the outside.
Well, if you're going to have that sort of luxurious space that close to the net, why not have a shot?
There's now Jaden Nilsson. Team defending, but touch back to Osorio. Now Jimenez. Ball by Osorio. Jimenez trying to turn. Nahar pries it away from behind. Now popcorn loose. Nilsson pressuring Gressel, and Gressel gets there first. Toronto not done. McNaughton sends this into the Ontario sky. The head is Heinz Ike over Chung. So it'll be a break period for Toronto. Somebody going to nudge ahead before the break. Through ball by O'Neal, but Nahar defending Petrasso. Luca Petrasso splitting the defenders. Nahar recovering. And there's no foul. Nahar gets it to Jeffall. Sofian Jeffall. He's got Flores running to his left. A through ball for Kamara. What a ball. Kamara onside. Robertha's there. Robertha creates a little space. That's not going to be a penalty. Yep. As he kind of got attacked by the turf as much as anything else. You have to be impressed with Jeffall. Precision pass. The flick allows Gressel to get onto it. Now Kamara attracts a lot of attention and wins the throw-in.
You could see Ola Kamara just a little frustrated there. He couldn't find a passing lane to Canals. This is the moment here where he's trying to take players on. Maybe a slight, at best, takes two players down as Pozuelo.
Well, there was
a little contact there, but
so
wheels did come up from Robertha looking for a whistle.
Live, it didn't look like a penalty, but
I think in replay, I don't think it did as well. It would have been.
Might have drawn a reaction in Toronto. Evo Field, which opened without an upper deck, the popularity there warranted such. It's Nahar on the throw-in. Jeff Hall. Nicely done. I say we see some sunshine now in Toronto. Jeff Hall. A ball to Gressel. So we have stoppage time coming. 3 minutes, we're told. Knaus. Flores. Knaus. Trying to muscle through Salcedo. Nahar. Now Gressel. So a throw-in coming up. Into our 3 minutes of stoppage time. Nelson tracks several DC defenders. Throw-in coming up. Anxious time. Right now in this game, you feel like at any moment somebody could get a bolt of lightning and score.
It's a little chaotic there, especially in the middle of the park. This field conditions not ideal, so a loose touch, a loose pass. How quickly teams can go the other way.
Amin. And we're going to get a foul on Kamara. So free kick coming up for Toronto FC. And Kamara, a worse for the wear. As he's talking with Shane O'Neill. Played a couple years with the Sounders. Don't think that discussion went well. McNaughton. Now to Chung. And Brad Smith, the foul. All right, Toronto gets a free kick here.
Bradley was looking to maybe take it quickly, goes short, but making the smarter decision here, just getting some bodies up there, asking DC to deal off this set piece.
So Pozuelo. This will tighten up your stomach muscles if you're a DC fan. We know this Toronto FC team not going to stay winless forever. Pozuelo sending it in. McNaughton got a head on it. No trouble for Bill Amin. Deep into stoppage time now. Is there one more surge for United? Don will play it back to his keeper. Pressure from Kamara. And that's going to do it. All right. Sharing the points in this match and sharing 2 goals in the first half. Pozuelo was able to even up the scoring for Toronto FC after DC United got that first goal from Russell Knaus in his first match this year for the Black and Red. We've reached